So, manifestation has been a hot topic over the last few years. Actually, since probably about the beginning of the 2000s. 2006, a movie came out called The Secret, which really opened a lot of people's eyes to that. It's about the law of attraction. But I think it did a disservice to a lot of people because they saw the movie and maybe even read the book and then decided they were just going to sit around and think about how they were going to get rich or think about how their life was going to get better. And that's not really what manifesting is. So what is manifestation? Manifestation is taking thought and desire, putting action to it, and then having a result based on those ingredients. It's not magic. You're not Mickey Mouse. You're not going to clean the house by making some brooms and mops come to life. You have to get up and do it. The thoughts shape the direction, but your actions define its arrival. You cannot sit around and daydream and expect it to come to life. You know, if you decide you're going to win the lottery and you want to manifest winning the lottery, that won't happen unless you go out and buy tickets. You're just not going to win the lottery from sitting on your ass at the house. Now, I'm not going to advocate, playing the lottery. That can, lead to financial ruin. So I don't advocate the lottery. But there is a misconception that you just sit around and think about it. And a lot of gurus and manifestation teachers out there right now overemphasize that and that alone. The feeling it, getting in tune with the vibration of what you want it to be. But they don't really discuss the outcome being your action. Sitting around and thinking about it is the vehicle. But you need an engine to drive the vehicle. And that engine is you putting forth the effort. Neville Goddard was a mystic from Barbados. And he's one of the most well-known when it comes to manifestation. And Neville Goddard speaks about assuming the wish fulfilled. And what he's discussing with assuming the wish fulfilled is that you see the outcome and you assume that it has happened. Once you assume that it's happened, there should be nothing in your way of making it happen except for yourself. Abraham Hicks, also known as Esther Hicks, she channels an entity, a group of entities that goes by Abraham. She was actually very, very much involved in the Secret movie. It was a lot of her teachings that they used. The emotional alignment is it equals the compass, not the engine. Your emotional alignment and your thought process and your energy towards manifesting is the way you perceive it to move forward. But you have to put action into obtaining that manifestation. It's not going to just appear. And I think everyone knows Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's pretty popular right now. You must act. So where do we begin? You begin with your inner beliefs. You can think all day and do affirmations all day long. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am rich. And then you go to the store and you're picking up two items wondering if you can afford both of them. Or telling yourself, I cannot afford this, or I'd really like to have that, but just not right now. Well, that means your belief in you being abundant, of you being wealthy, is not in alignment with your thoughts. You have to be together in those. If you want to believe that you're abundant, and I'm not advocating going out and just spending your money on, whatever you want, whenever you want. Even some of the wealthiest people in the world, they don't just, decide, all right, I'm going to buy this boat and this boat just because I can. You have to be intelligent about what you're doing. You have to make very rational decisions in those kind of aspects. But if you have a fear of buying something or doing something, you're living in that lack, not in the abundance. You have to get your thoughts and your beliefs on the same track. But again, I do believe that most of the manifestation gurus and teachers have portrayed it as just sitting around and thinking about what you want. And that's just not enough. It's not going to work that way. My grandfather used to tell me, wish in one hand, spit in the other. See which one fills up faster. I'm sure other people have heard different versions of that same saying, but that's the one I got when I was a kid. And what he was trying to relay to me was that the actions matter. What you do matters. You're delusional if you think that you're going to just have things happen for you without you putting any effort in. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is your co-creator. It's a part of who you are, and it's there to help you. A good friend always tells me, the universe is conspiring to help you. You just have to want to help yourself. You have to do the work. Lao Tzu, he's the writer of the Tao Te Ching, a Chinese philosopher. He states that a journey begins with a single step. If I want to get in my car to go somewhere, I can't magically appear in my driver's seat. I have to stand up and walk to my car. And then once I get in the car, I have to put it in drive. And then I have to go down that road. I can't just teleport. Not yet. That hopefully will come one day. But the process that you go through to get to your result is the combining of the heart and the head, the thought and the emotion. And once you have that clear vision, you take action, you move, you do what's necessary. And sometimes doing what's necessary is difficult. It's not always going to be easy. Life isn't easy. Buddha said we become what we think and do, not just what we think. When you manifest, you do all of these things in sequence. But the key word is you do them. And your environment actually is a very important part of manifesting. You can't, I say you can't, so you probably could if you really set your mind to it, but you can't be in a bad situation and manifest yourself out of it if you don't put in the action to manifest yourself out of it. If you're allowing the negativity that's around you, if you're in, say, living in low-income housing, and all you do is hear people talk about how negative their life is, and you allow that to change your view of what success is, change your view of the outcomes that you can have, you're allowing that environment to influence your belief. You can think all day long that you'll make it. But if you take to heart what they're saying around you in the environment you're in, your belief is not congruent and not aligned with your thoughts. And reality really isn't a mirror. It's a partner. It's like dancing. A simple waltz is 4 steps. You take a step forward, take a step to the side, back, and then to the side. If your partner mirrored you, it wouldn't be a dance. You'd run into each other the first time y'all step forward. Sure, you'd take a step to the side, and then when you took a step back, they'd be out of reach. But as a partner that dance in life, they take a step back when you take a step forward. And then when you take your step back, they take a step forward. It's a movement. Together. It's cohesion. You attract what you repeatedly do, not what you wish. Again, with the spitting in one hand, wishing in the other. If you want to get in shape and you wake up every morning and eat 12 or a dozen donuts and you don't go work out, you can have all the posters of Arnold Schwarzenegger on your wall and all the affirmations of I'm going to be a bodybuilder all over your house. And you can repeat them everywhere you go. But your actions are what you become. You're rewarded for not wishing, but walking. Taking that step, that first step out of 1,000. And in doing so, you embody that faith that that step is going to lead you to the result. For those that have never been out here to the Mystics, there's quite a few windy roads and quite a few blind curves to get here. You can put it in your GPS all day long, but if you've never been here, you have to be within faith that it's going to lead you to the right place. Because you can't see the Mystics from the road. You just can't. It's been done that way because this is a sanctuary. But you have to trust that once you get in your car and start driving here, you will make it. And Your journey into manifestation is the same way. Once you start taking those steps, you have to have faith that they'll lead you there. It's not going to be a straight path. You're going to have curves. It's going to be windy. You may not be able to see around the bend, but you have to have faith that you're moving in the right direction. And you can't manifest after you get there. You can't manifest, I'm going to be confident once I have money. I'm going to be happy once I have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I'm going to feel abundant once I have a house and a car. You can't manifest afterwards. You manifest while you are moving and working towards your goal. It's a loop of positive reinforcement. The belief itself, as you move forward, amplifies that belief. And the more steps you take and the more progress you feel and start aligning that intention and that belief, the stronger that belief and the stronger the intention becomes. And this isn't just woo-woo that a lot of people, manifestations, the whole spiritual side, and all these non-Christians and non-religious people, that's their way of saying that, they'll just have what they want. That's not true. Science has shown that the actions and the beliefs start rewiring your brain, neuroplasticity. That consistent thought in your head that I'm going to accomplish this. And then the action you take towards those steps rewires your brain and creates new neural pathways. Those new neural pathways are strengthened through those steps. Again, with that reinforcement. Sure, most people know what dopamine is. At least they've heard it on the news about kids and their dopamine highs where they're scrolling through TikTok or Instagram. Got to get that dopamine hit. Got to see that new funny reel. Pursuing your passion, pursuing your goals will give you that same dopamine. It's been proven that it will flood your brain with that dopamine, flood your body when you can see those steps before you happening. And the more you do it, the more repetition you do, the stronger and more embedded that feeling gets in you. So how do we do the repetitions? Within the Christian faith, I am a Reformed Southern Baptist. Within the Christian faith, it's daily prayer, whether that's sitting down for your meal and thanking God and saying, bless this food, or it's your nighttime prayer. Now I lay me down to sleep. I'm sure most people at least know that phrase. Those are daily rituals. And within Christianity, it keeps you closer to God. It gets you closer to His gifts. Meditation. Meditation is listening to the answers from the universe. I'm not knocking prayer. I still pray to the infinite. I still pray and ask the universe. Meditation for me is the sitting quietly and listening for the answer. Journaling. I've slacked here last couple of weeks, but I typically journal every single night. I try to write down exactly what happened during the day and reflect upon it. Journaling is a daily ritual. The Buddhists do a walking meditation as a spiritual embodiment. They walk through nature. They engross themselves with nature and with every living being. And as part of that neuroplasticity, repetition impresses upon the subconscious. It rewrites the brain, rewires those pathways. A lot of people think that when they hit a roadblock, maybe that's just the universe telling them that's not their thing. I'm trying to do this or I'm trying to do that, and you get sideswiped or blinded by an event in your life. It's a test of your alignment and your will, not a roadblock. Joe Dispenza says they're signals, not stop signs. So even if it feels like you're going around something or you've had to sidestep and start a slightly new path going in the right direction, that energy is not wasted. Most likely it's a lesson. Did you know that when buffalo smell a storm coming, they don't go around it, they don't run away. They run head first into the storm. When a buffalo sees a thunderstorm coming, they turn and run directly into it because the quickest path out is through. You can try to go around it, but you're going to take so much time and energy that could be used moving forward. And you may think to yourself, oh, well, there are a lot of people out there that they just have it easy, or they've become successful, or life has just happened to them. And that's not completely true. A lot of entrepreneurs sit down and meditate and visualize their day. And then they do the hard work of knocking on doors or cold calling. Noah started a power washing business with a buddy of his. They sat down, they visualized it, they wrote it out, and they started on the plan. And I was talking to him the other day, and he said a lot of what they do is knocking on doors. But they visualized it and they're actualizing it. Not sitting around at the house waiting on someone to call them and say, hey, I need something power washed. They're out there pounding the pavement. I doubt the statue of David just melted the marble away until that beautiful statue was there. Michelangelo had to put chisel to stone. He visualized it. It said that he sat and stared at it for hours, days and months before he even took the first swing at it. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, David's the marble statue of the naked man standing kind of like this. Beautiful statue. Very, very difficult to carve in marble. But he knew he was going to do it. He visualized it, saw the outcome, and then did the work. Manifestation is and always will be when dreamers become doers. Harrison Ford, I think most everyone knows who he is. Han Solo, Indiana Jones. Harrison Ford was 40 years old when he became Han Solo. He had been trying to become an actor for years, but he never quit. He never stepped out and started doing something else. He became a carpenter, but he wasn't just some carpenter building houses randomly. He was building sets. He was making sure that he was there around movies. So he was building the sets that other actors were performing on. He didn't stumble into his dream. He walked right into it, and he kept working the whole time. So this is the framework that I've decided that I enjoy for manifestation, and that is to think. You still have to dream. You do. I'm not knocking the dreaming aspect of it at all. I just think a lot of the gurus and manifestation teachers stop after the dreaming process. They don't move forward to the action. When you think and get a clear idea of what it is you want in life, whether that's to become a chef when you're a kid and you start thinking about cooking, you get that clear idea. Then you emotionally engage into cooking and learning, and you take those actions daily and you practice. And once you've practiced and worked on it and aligned those steps, the universe it'll meet you halfway. Like I said earlier, manifestation is a dance. It's a balance of taking the action, dreaming, taking action. But all the while that you're doing it, you need to feel it. Embody that emotion. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about feeling as though it's already happened. That's part of the visualization. If I want a brand new car and I'm working and I'm saving money, one of the best things I can do is sit and visualize myself in that car. Feel the leather of the steering wheel. Hear the sound of it start. When I was in the Navy, all I wanted was a muscle car. I got stationed in Florida, and I didn't know what manifestation was at that time, but I spent every day searching for my dream car. And I ended up getting it. I had a 1972 Chevelle Super Sport. I loved that car until I wrapped it around a telephone pole. What do? You're 20 years old and in the military, you act stupid sometimes. But I'd manifested it. And I didn't realize it was because I dreamed about it every day. I thought about it every day. I imagined myself driving the strip from Jacksonville to Daytona all the time. And then it happened. I had a buddy of mine send me back in the day, it was Auto Trader magazines. Now you can do it online, but at that time, you got a free magazine out of an Auto Trader bin next to a convenience store. And a buddy of mine actually found the car, called the guy, and found out the price was too much for him, and then told me about it, and it was the exact amount that I had been approved by the bank already. It's looking back on things like that I can now say that I've been manifesting my whole life. Everyone has been manifesting their whole life. They just don't realize it. So once you realize that you think things through, take the necessary steps to move forward, the universe will meet you halfway. But you have to be walking towards it, towards that dream, towards that goal, before it'll meet you there. So stop waiting, start becoming. And before we end this, I want to read a little synopsis of part of a chapter out of the No BS Path to Enlightenment, Kevin Schmidt. If you haven't gotten this book, I highly recommend it. But this is in chapter 13. And it's basically what I've been saying this whole time. Sitting cozy in your living room, watching a feel-good documentary about visualizing your dreams to bring them into reality. The emotions start to rise. A sense of invincibility, the idea that you can do anything, will arise. It's bullshit. Don't get me wrong, there is a real value in visualization. Mentally picturing your goal, connecting with them emotionally, and daydreaming about your life that you want is vitally important. But these things have their place, yet they are not the only thing. Here's the truth. Without action, all you're doing is dreaming. You can sit there immersed in the warmth of the glossy and inspirational words of a book, but unless you physically and mentally take steps forward, nothing will change. It's not enough just to imagine your success. This chapter is actually what got me on the idea of doing this presentation on manifestation. I received the Secret book when I was in the Navy from a girl that I was dating, and I thought it was a bunch of woo-woo. I really did. I thought it was visualization, and I'm just going to manifest something out of thin air. That's bullshit. Well, it kind of is, because a lot of that failed to mention the action. So if you take anything away from today, know that your dreams, your daydreams, your goals, even as lofty as they can be, are obtainable. But they're only obtainable if you take that first step. If this resonates with you, we're always here, 115. Got a nice group of people out here. Come on out and see us. Thank you.